Welcome to XXL. Today, we're doing another unboxing. On the bench today, we have a new ARRMA 4x4 RC. Let's crack this thing open, see what we got. Check it out. ARRMA Outcast 4S. Now, I already have an Outcast 6S and an Outcast 8S. So it felt really natural that this would be the next step in the ARRMA journey. Haha, this thing looks awesome. I mean, it's literally just a scaled down version of the ones that I already have. And I think the Outcast is one of my favorites. X-Max probably most favorite, Outcast second, close second. So let's continue here. It's got a couple seals on the bottom. Oh, that one just popped itself open. This comes in two different flavors. Which one did I get? There's the brown, which you see there, and then there's also a blue color. So my 6S Outcast is the gray, the 8S Outcast is the red. So what do you think I got? Let's have a look. Had to get the blue. Look at it. It looks amazing. Not a big fan of the brown, but you know, to each their own. So this comes up pretty easy. Nice cardboard around the frame. And I'm assuming this is the radio. Look, standard SLT3, nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. Looks like there's some shock spacers, some tools. There's like a multi-tool and a couple Allen wrenches, and your instructions. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Really like that blue. Holy cow, it looks even better in person. Let's just pull it right out of the box. Yeah, that's easy. No zip ties, nothing. Just the car and some cardboard. Man, this thing looks good. Holy cow. Got the standard issue ARRMA body clips with the tethers. I do like that because if you have one pop out, they stay connected to the body. Plus that little rubber piece kind of gives you something extra to grip onto when you're pulling those out. And you'll notice the holes in the body on the back, they're kind of elongated. That's for when it flexes and, you know, it moves around. It's not going to break the body. It's got some room to move there. Another nice thing that I think is exclusive to the Outcast, I'm not sure, but you'll notice on the roll bar and on the wing they have screws in there, and that is, if you flip it over, you know, you're just going to rub against the screws. And actually I think at night they'll spark a little bit if you're on the road, but this keeps from ruining the plastics so much. You know, it gives a little bit of extra durability there. Pop the top off of this. Now, remember when these first came out, I was like, you know, 4S, who wants that? And then they kind of went away for a little while. So I was really excited to see when they came back, because then at that point I was intrigued. I wanted to get one, and of course I couldn't. So, but now here we have it. Got our 4S. Let's take a look. Yeah, this looks similar layout as the other Outcast, just on a smaller scale. The one big difference with this one, it's got a plastic chassis, where the other ones are both metal. So I don't mind that. I actually prefer the plastic chassis. They're lighter weight. You know, they do give a little bit, where if you bend a metal chassis, it's just bent. You know, I guess you could bend it back, but the plastic kind of gives a little bit. It will stretch and then go back. And if you do happen to break one of these, it's much cheaper than a metal chassis. So it looks like there is a series connector here, so you could run two cells or one 4-cell. I'm probably just going to run one 4-cell in it. But yeah, this thing looks amazing. It's bigger than I thought it would be. Let me grab my 6S real quick. Let's just have a look, because it's not. This thing is really dirty and I feel bad putting it on top of this, but yeah, look. It's just as wide as the 6S. And the wheelbase is about the same too. Like the 6S is marginally bigger. Just barely. And I mean, maybe the tires are bigger on the 6S. It's hard to tell. They're just as wide, but I think maybe they're a little bit taller. But yeah, this is like, I thought it was going to be a little bit smaller, but it's nearly identical. Let's take a look at our chassis here. I want to test fit some batteries. I got a few different ones charged up. See what we're going to run. Like I said earlier, you could run 2 packs if you want to run two cells or a single 4-cell. I'm going to go ahead and leave this jumper in here, and we're just going to run one 4-cell. I've got these Spektrum 5000 milliamp hour 50C 4S batteries. Should fit pretty nice in there. We'll stand it up like that, just so these battery cables are not really, so if I lay it down, they're going to be wedged in there. So this should fit pretty nice like that. I really do like the battery trays that ARRMA uses. They have the Velcro straps in there, so you can fit a lot of different sizes. That should fit pretty good. I guess maybe there's some adjustments here. Or I could stick a piece of foam or something in there just to keep that from sliding around, but plugs right up. And they actually do have these little retainers in there, so I can stick the wires down in just to keep everything nice and neat so it's not flopping around in there. I've also got these 5000 milliamp hour 100C discharge, so I guess a little bit more discharge on that. Same size, so it would fit the same. If you don't want to run 4 cells right out of the gate, you can pick up something like these. I got these off of Amazon. These are Huvo 5500 milliamp hour, but these are 3-cell 120C discharge, and they're about roughly the same size. So you do that. But I'm going to go ahead and jump right in with 4-cell. So let's head out, take this thing for a rip. Alright, before we go out back, I just wanted to show you guys the size comparison between the 4S, 6S, and the 8S. So there's the 4S there. Here's the 6S. So you can see 6S is bigger. Like I said earlier, it's marginally bigger, but still bigger anyways. So now I gotta make room for the big boy. Oh, it barely fits on there. So there we have it. 8S, 6S, 4S. Man, that thing is huge. Holy cow. Alright, so like I've done in the past with other new trucks, I'm just gonna strap the GPS on this, get a little speed run in the road, then we'll take it out back for a proper bash session. Got our GNSS, I just zip tied it to the front there. Shouldn't go anywhere, so let's get it fired up. Looks like it did connect. We got lights. Awesome. So we'll get this thing powered on. There. Transmitter on. Car on. Well, straight out of the box, we got no communication with our radio. See that flashing red light? That means something's going on here. I got to rebind this thing, so I have to. I don't know if you can do it through the set button. I'll have to look it up, but I bet you there's a bind button on the receiver, so I'll have to get into this box underneath the ESC and check it out. I'm quite sure how to get into this receiver box, but there's a couple screws for the ESC and one for that power switch, so I'm gonna assume that's it. I believe there's just a bind button on here. I think it's that little Spektrum button. Pretty hard to see down in there, but there's a little Spektrum button right on the front of the receiver. Well, that was a little interesting. It is bound up now. You can see that the light is solid on the receiver. So a little bit different procedure. On the SR315, you don't press and hold that like you normally would. You let it power on, and then you press the button on it 3 times. And then with the SLT3, there is no bind button. I had to look this up. But as soon as you turn it on, it's kind of in bind mode. So if there's a receiver nearby that's in bind mode, it will bind itself to it. There's no button on the radio at all. This is not going as planned. I dropped the last screw that holds this little thing onto the back of my tailgate, and I could see it, and I found it, and there was a hole back there, and I'm like, okay, be careful, don't put it in that hole. Well, there was a bigger hole that I didn't see, and I dropped it down in there. Just had to fish it out, but I did get it. I have a magnet on a screwdriver, and I was able to fish it out of there. All right, let's get this thing buttoned up so we can go take it out, see what kind of speed we get, and then we'll take it for a bash. We gotta do track, start. Yep, it's working. Let's go. Got a little bit of carnage, road rash there. There was some sparks. Got just a little bit of rub. That's okay. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, this thing it's a blast. All right, let's see what we got. Stop, read. Wow, 47. That's pretty good for 4S.
Yeah.
I wonder if a gearing change would help out. I'm sure it would. I just don't know if we can do that and still keep the heat down. I'm not sure what this thing runs at, but okay. So 47 out of the box, pretty good. Let's go take it out back, and we'll have a proper bash. Here we are in the XXL RC playground. Let's take this thing for a rip. Oh yeah. You're gonna do backflips real easy, I think. Just like the other Outcasts. Oh, this thing is a wheelie machine. Holy cow. Let's see. Okay, let's try that again. Oh my, this thing is wild. I am so glad that I got one of these. Oh yeah, I gotta learn a little bit of air control with this thing. But she's a blast, she's a ripper, that's for sure. Love that blue too. Even on that little jump, just it, oh yeah. When they say stunt truck, this is what they're talking about. Oh, hold on. Look, my battery, that extra loop in the battery cable's sticking out. Excuse me, sir. Yeah, it's just kind of sitting on there. Alright, I think it'll be okay. I bet I could pull 2 backflips out of this thing, and I don't have another car that will do 2 backflips. I don't know if I can do it with the ramps in their current configuration, but I think if I stack another ramp on top of that, I think I could do it. We'll give it another shot like this. Ooh, that was close. I don't know if that's the best place to stand. That's where I stood with the Outcast 8S. If you watch that video, I stood kind of back here behind the ramps so I could line up the shot, but I don't know. Maybe back here further would be better. Back up. Ooh, that was like 1.5. It landed pretty hard on its lid. But, I mean, there's a little bit, you can see where the shock tower kind of dug into the body there and there. But other than that, these things are very resilient. Just the way that the body is constructed with this. Maybe I shouldn't pick it up by that. By the roll bar. Yeah, they're just beasts, and they're made to be run like this. They just love it. I've got a couple other ramps I'm gonna stack up here. This one, which is kind of like a curve up type ramp. I have another one of those I think I'll use. These are that kind of profile where it curves up. I think that's the best for jumping. It gets you a little bit more vertical than like this one over here, or the land wave ramps. They're more just straight. The only problem with these ramps is they don't hook together like the land wave, so you got that gap in the middle. Oh, we landed that one barely. All right. Man, I'm gonna have to zip tie that thing or something next time. I'm not doing it this time. I'll just keep tucking it in, but I'm gonna have to do something just so that battery connector stays in there. All right, here we go. Trying for a double backflip. And here we go. Double backflip. Did not land it though. That was a hard hit. You can see where it dug in right there. Big chunk of the grass missing. Holy cow. It is a monster. Oh, almost. So that was pretty entertaining. We had double backflip, hard chassis slab to cartwheel back onto its wheels there. So that was decent. Well, kind of, oh no! We cracked the chassis. Oh man, I bet you, if you look right there, there's some kind of rock shrapnel. I bet when I landed in here, right in those big rocks. Come on, ARRMA, this is the Outcast, not the big rock. Why are you going in the big rocks? Oh man. Well, you know, it doesn't look too bad, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna be looking at a new chassis. And like I mentioned earlier, not a big deal. These are plastic, they're cheap. It's not like the metal ones that get bent and mangled and they're expensive to replace. I think we're gonna be okay. Anything else? Looks like it did hit there on the arm. Doesn't look like anything's broke, none of the other arms. I think it's just that. And really, it's just kind of the outside. If the battery strap holes weren't there, so they're right here and here, I don't think it would have broke. But I don't know, whatever. I'm just gonna keep going until I'm out of battery. I mean, we're not gonna give up now, it's already broke. Might as well break it some more. Heck yeah. That was a perfect jump. That was a perfect double backflip jump. That was awesome. Let me see if I can do that again. It landed right about here. So I don't think I had the landing in the shot. We're gonna give it another go. Oh, right into the wing. Holy cow. Wing didn't break. That wing's not broken. I don't know what ARRMA makes these wings out of, but it's pretty wild. Because I have hit hard on those before, on the other Outcasts. No breakage. Here we go! Ooh, I might have a busted shock. Just seemed a little weird in the front there. No, I don't think so. Oh, whatever. Let's see, will it do donuts? I always come over on the pine nails, makes it a little bit easier. Not quite. I think it's because she's so wide. This thing really tracks. Something sure does seem broken in the front there. She is sitting low. All right, yep, I did just pull the cover off of this thing. That shock shaft is bent. It was, the shock was fully compressed and I had to really pull on it to get it out of there. So I guess we'll be looking at that as well as the chassis. What a wild ride. But really, I mean, okay, so the corners broke, whatever. The main part of the chassis, still perfectly fine. Everything in here looks just fine. Shock tower's fine. Bumper is a little messed up, maybe. I don't remember it being tilted back like that. And we got a busted shock shaft. So overall, what a great machine. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. I'll see you guys in the next video.